What up, y'all? It's DJ Envy.
And I'm Gia Casey.
And this is another edition of the Casey Crew.
Welcome.
And happy holidays to you and yours.
Happy holidays, beautiful people.
It's been a lot going on this last week.
Too much going on this last week.
Well, first and foremost, our baby girl gets her actual permit today.
Yes.
She's about to leave out of here right now. Now, if you don't live in New Jersey, to get your permit at the age of 16, you have to take 6 hours of driving class. And she's been having an experience. They've been going on the highway. It's cold here, so the roads are not the best. And there's a lot of traffic because it's the holidays. But she's been grinding it out and going through it, and she's excited. Today is her last 2 hours of driving.
Yes, she is the only person on the planet that I would put my money on that will never get a speeding ticket.
That is correct.
She will never get a traffic violation.
Correct.
A parking ticket.
Correct.
And never be in an accident.
That is correct.
Why?
Because she is the safety queen.
She is the head of the department at the safety police.
That is right.
Like, she is the safest person. She was like, Mama, I was driving and I couldn't even look at the speed limit sign because I was just face forward, eyes on the road. I couldn't look to the left or the right. I said, what if a car was coming to you at the left or the right? She's like, I just would have got hit because I was just looking straight ahead.
Right.
Just making sure that I was doing exactly what I was supposed to do.
Right.
I said, sweetie pie, you really have to loosen up.
Yeah, she's going to get it. You have
to calm down. You are too rigid. Nothing is going to happen. You can look to the left. You can look to the right. You have to be able to observe the signs, look in your side view mirrors, look in your rear view mirrors. She's like, I'm going to get to that point. Maybe by the 4th hour.
Right. Well, she's going to get it. I mean, I think with me and you, we were a lot more cooler when I say that is we were more comfortable in driving.
Now comfortable is a synonym of cool.
Yeah, because we wanted to be cool when we were driving. When we did driver's ed.
Listen,
I don't know about you, but I think
you do know about me.
No, I mean with driver's ed, there was 3 other kids in the car. Because when we did driver's ed, it was 4 of us in the car, in total. Mm-hmm. So when you drove, you wanted to look cool.
2 other kids in the car,
right? You wanted to look cool for the people in the back too. So you wanted to make sure you were driving cool. You were taking it. Madison's there by herself. She is shook daddy, but. After today, she gets her permit and then she'll start driving.
I'm so proud of her because yesterday when we were on our way to Logan's birthday celebration, she was talking to one of her friends that she brought along.
Right. And
she was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that people text and drive. Like, how can you do that?
I know.
I mean, if you get into an accident, it's 100% your fault, and you deserve whatever happens because you shouldn't be texting and driving at the same time. And I'm sitting there like, thank God my daughter feels this way.
No, she screamed on me.
Because when I was a teen, those words would not have been, not that we had texting when I was a teen, but
back in your day, you didn't have texting.
we barely had cell phones when we were driving.
Right.
Our cell phones looked like bricks with dots on them. But I definitely wasn't as concerned as she is. And we were more concerned, just like you said, with looking cool. I mean, I remember when we got our licenses, the back of our seat was slanted all the way back.
That's right. We were leaning.
We had bazookas and speakers and systems rims. And I couldn't hear if someone beeped me because my music was too loud.
That is true.
You know, her radio might be off. I wouldn't be surprised if it's off. She's probably going to put her cell phone in the back seat so that if someone does call, she's not able to get it. I see her operating like that.
Absolutely. And I love it.
I'm so proud of her.
Her instructor's here right now. I'm actually buzzing him in the gate right now as we speak.
You're not going to speak to him before?
No, this is her last. No, this is her last one. I'll speak to him after, and then I'm going to take her out today.
Okay.
I'm going to take her out in the Ferrari and let her... No, I'm definitely not in the Ferrari. She ain't crashing my car. But I'm going to take her out today.
You take her out in that, you'll come back with it being a Matchbox car.
Absolutely. But I definitely am going to take her out today after she goes. Yeah, that's the instructor at the gate. So they should have a lot of fun. Now, you
Be
also...
prepared. She's about to knock on the door to say goodbye.
I know. Also, last night, you mentioned on our way to Logan's birthday party. So Logan turned 14 this week. I don't know when you guys are here, so I'll just say this week.
But for us, it was yesterday.
Yeah, for us, it was yesterday. And we took him, it was a trapeze party.
Yeah, see her, she's knocking the door.
Come in, Maddie.
Hey, boo-boo.
You have a good time, babe? Huh?
I don't know.
I don't know. See, she borrows your stuff too much. Where's your black Uggs? Oh, her black Uggs. All right, get out. We're doing a podcast, and take your brother with you.
Hey, Jaxie. He's so excited about his new cars.
Yeah, his new yellow car.
Bye, babe. Have fun. Good luck.
Jackson, close the door.
Close the door.
Jaxie.
Sorry, guys.
That's how you know it's a live podcast. Thank you. All right.
Okay.
So yesterday Logan had his birthday party and we did a trapeze party.
Mm-hmm.
He invited a couple of his friends that he went to school with. Madison invited a couple of her friends, and we all got a Sprinter, and we went to this trapeze place in New York City. An amazing experience.
Wow.
Now, Gia and I have been looking at this trapeze thing for the longest time. It's actually, they do it in the summertime. They do it in Manhattan on top of a building. And
Chelsea Piers.
And when you drive by, you can see them doing the trapeze stuff, and it looks so cool.
For years, I've been trying to find any and every excuse to do it. And every single time I've suggested it, Rashawn was like, nah, B.
Right?
Nah.
So we tried, and we went yesterday. And first of all, I want to say you're a monkey. Your kids are monkeys. And I'm not. I'm the only human that lives in this house. I'm the only real whole
You're up
human.
there like a giraffe.
No, I don't know what I was. So now let me explain it. It's the indoor one is indoor in a facility in Brooklyn, and it's
the trapeze school, they alternate, right? So is it the same trapeze school?
I think they have one in Brooklyn, but in the summertime they open one up in the city as well.
Okay.
You know, that they use for sunny days and warm days, because if it's cold, they can't do it, or if it's rainy, they can't do it. So they use the facility in Brooklyn.
So they have two facilities.
They have two facilities.
Mm-hmm.
And the trapeze is, all right, so when you first walk in, they have a trapeze. And if you don't know what it is, you have to climb, 25, 30 feet?
I don't know how many feet it was. There's a ish load of steps.
So you climb up a long ass ladder all the way up to the top. And then when you get to the top, you stand on this platform. And when you're standing on this platform, it's a feeling of, oh shit, I just shit myself.
Well, wait. Before you go any further, so we're all our flight time was for 6:15.
Correct.
So we get there at like 5:30.
Mm-hmm.
So Rashawn goes in first. We're all in the Sprinter. He goes in first to get us situated, to sign us in and to make sure all the kids are here and everything. He comes back with the look of death on his face.
Correct.
And in your words was, babe, you see that shit?
That's right.
I said, I know what a trapeze looks like. No. You need to come inside and look at that shit. I said, I know what it looks like. I've been to the circus. He's like, no. In person, that shit's real.
Yes.
That shit's real. I said, no. He's like, no, come inside. I said, you think we're going to back out now? And you were like, yo, I just might back out.
Nah, I wish, well, it was scary. It was scary. Now, I can't tell you how your first time was, but my first time, climbing up that ladder of 30 feet,
yes,
or 40 feet or 50 feet, and then you're standing there and you're looking at this narrow net. And I told Gia that beforehand. She was like, well, why you look so scared? I said, because what happens if I fall off and I go off the net? She was like, the net's big enough. Nobody falls off the net. When I got up there, I'm like, this net is thin as shit. All right. So then when you get up, they have all these safety gadgets and safety lines connected to you.
Harnesses.
They pull what is that thing called? The actual swing. They pull the swing and they said, grab the swing with your right hand.
The swing. Oh, okay. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I grabbed the swing with my right hand. Now the swing is heavy as fuck.
That's what got me. I couldn't believe it was that heavy.
Now, mind you, I box, I lift weights. That swing was heavy for me. So I'm thinking to myself, how are these kids holding the swing? But I'm like, I can't back down now. I have to do it because all the kids went.
I know you were thinking about climbing back down those runs.
Let me tell you. When I got halfway up that ladder, I was like, what? And I tried every excuse. When I got up there, I told the guy, I said, look, my hands are sweaty and I don't have chalk. So let me go back down. He was like, I have chalk for you right here. I did not want to do that at all. But when I did it, you jumped on the swing, 2 hands on the swing, and you go, it's going super fast. It's not going slow.
Listen, that's the moment. That's the moment when the first moment is when you grab it with the one hand. Then when you grab it with the second hand and you're leaning, because when you're leaning forward and the person up there, your safety person, is holding you by the belt. So when he lets go, you go forward. So that moment when you jump off of the platform, the momentum, that's something I wasn't prepared for.
I wasn't either. And I'm not going to lie. There was a couple of tricks they wanted us to do. They wanted us to bring our feet up and hang from our feet and then stretch our arms out so the guy can, the other trapeze guy could catch us. I wasn't prepared for none of that. So I just swang like a little monkey, like a little girl. Yeah, if you follow me on Instagram or follow her on Instagram, you can see what she did. She actually swang. She put her feet up. She connected to the other trapeze guys. Like they were doing tricks like they were actually in the circus. They tried to get me to do it 3 times. I told them to fuck off.
After the second time.
I was like, no, because I was scared. Like I was scared. And the reason I'm so scared is they have this little guy.
Little guy.
His name is Travis. The guy that was instructing us.
Wait, the catcher or?
Yeah, no, the guy that's making sure that if we fall off, he can hold us.
Oh, okay, yeah. The guy that was manning the harness.
Right. So I'm looking at him, and he was having a little trouble with some of the big friends that Logan has. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I'm bigger than all them. So if I fly off, will he be able to hold me the right position where I don't bust my ass?
Because basically, he's holding. I'm just going to call them the straps. The straps that operate the harness.
Correct.
So when you jump off the platform, your body weight is connected to those straps, and his body weight is what's, I guess, controlling the straps. So
Correct.
Rashawn is basically saying if he jumps off and he starts to fly away,
right.
He's wondering if this guy's body weight will be able to counteract his body weight to keep him safe. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And all those comments that I seen on my Instagram, fuck y'all. I want to see y'all do it. Oh, you're screaming like a little girl. You're damn right I am. Oh, you let Gia show you out. Yes, you're damn right. She's a fucking monkey. I'm not. Yes. Okay?
Well, the trick really is
There's
not
no
being
trick.
scared.
Oh, yeah, that's the trick.
It's not being
But I'm scared.
You know, I wasn't scared at all. It was more so, just like I said, when I got up there, when you hold... What I'll say is when my second hand held that rung or that swing, that's when it became real for me. Because when you jump off and it went so much faster. And I don't know if the video really depicts it, but you go so much faster than I thought. And it's really like free falling. To me, it was a little bit more, and I don't want to really use the word scary, but for lack of a better word, it was more scary even than skydiving because you're kind of in control of it because you're holding the rung. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know if I would say that.
When you skydive, you're not holding anything. You're just enjoying the thrill.
That's true.
This, you're in control of what you're doing, and you have to think about what you're doing, and you have to think about the timing, and you have to make sure that you release on time. You get your legs up on time. You're hanging upside down on time. And then for the second time, we all backflipped off of it. And, that was fun. But, I can't remember the last time I did a backflip. Do you know what I mean? So
last time, I've never done a backflip.
That type of coordination, it takes a lot. I'm not going
to lie. I have no coordination. That's my thing. Like when it comes to
DJ
flipping,
who's all about timing and coordination and rhythm.
I have none.
I don't know how you're so successful. You have zero.
But the funny thing is I tried to do the trampoline thing and I tried to do just like to get myself prepared for a flip.
Because they had a trampoline there as well.
And I fell on my face. Like directly.
You should post that video.
On my
that
face.
Hysterical.
No, it's not funny. That's a little embarrassing.
You don't post it. I'm going to get into your phone. I'm going to post it.
It's on my Insta Snap. It was really embarrassing. Like I fell on my face.
You have no coordination.
No, I don't. But I do want to say this. Before February, I want to go back to the trapeze place because I have to redeem myself.
Why before February?
What you mean why?
What's in February?
Nothing. I just want to go in this month.
You want to go back and redeem yourself?
I have to go back and redeem myself.
You had an opportunity. We all went up. We all did it about 4 or 5 times.
Correct.
And you stopped after number 2. If you wanted to redeem, no, you did not. That is a dirty, dirty lie.
I didn't go 3 times?
You went 2 times. You swung and screamed, and you swung and screamed again. And that was it.
Okay,
they told you get your feet up. You said, no, F off. I'm not doing it. They said, come on, give it a try. You said, not going to happen.
You're right.
And then you fell.
You're right.
And that was it.
Okay.
You didn't do it 3 times. You did it twice. You had 3 more opportunities last night to redeem yourself. You chose not to. Now you want to drive all the way back to Brooklyn to redeem yourself?
Yeah, because the kids were there and I just felt funny and I got to redeem myself. Like I have to practice. What I'm going to do is, we have like a little monkey bar outside. I'm just going to practice pulling my legs up because I was like, when you're there and you're scared, you're just scared. You don't know what to do.
No, you were just scared. Rashawn, all you have to do is pull your legs up and hook them over the rungs and hang backwards.
It's so easy to say when we're sitting here laying on this bed. But when you're flying and you're not scared if the guy can actually hold you, if the harness is actually going to work.
Who cares if he doesn't hold you? You have a net underneath you. You have a net. If the harness fails, you have a net.
All right. I ain't want to fly off that net.
Well, regardless, we had the time of our lives.
We had a great time.
That was another bucket list thing that, for me, I get to scratch off. I've always wanted to do that.
You're creating a bucket list for me that I didn't even want. Like, I'm checking shit off your bucket list that I wasn't even thinking about. I didn't want to do trapeze, but now that's off my bucket list that it wasn't even on my bucket list.
I don't even know what there is left for us to do. Oh, I know what there's left to do.
What?
But this, I'm not even going to lie. This has me thinking, it might not be such a good idea.
What?
When we went to Bora Bora, do you remember when we were out in the lagoon and that mountain, the famous Bora Bora mountain?
Yes.
What's it called again? Oni.
You asking the wrong person.
Okay, whichever way. Do you remember the people that were hang gliding off of that mountain?
Oh, yeah.
Those big sky kites, I'm going to call it. I would love to do that.
Okay, I'll videotape you.
And they said that they've never had any problems or anything like that.
So
would you even consider that?
No. There's no parachutes. There's no safety line. There's nothing to help you if you fuck up and fall. You just die. It's kind of like, like at least if you jump out of a plane, there's a parachute and then there's a backup parachute. Mm-hmm. Trapeze, there's a harness, there's a safety line, there's a net.
But I think there's someone, obviously there's someone there with you.
No, you jump off. You jump off. All you're depending on is the wind and God.
And the kite.
All right, and the kite.
The hang glider, I guess, right?
Yeah, and God might be giving me a feeling right now, be like, don't trust that kite. So I'm not going.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I might draw the line there. I'm going to Google it when we're done and see if there's, I just want to do a little bit of research. But I don't even know what left there is to do.
Yeah, well, we'll try to figure it out.
I would like to go to New Zealand. From what I understand, New Zealand is like the adventure capital of the world.
I'm sure a lot of people die
There's
there.
like a lot of extreme sports.
A lot of death, I'm sure.
Things like that. I don't know. I like at some point when our older kids get a little bit older, like maybe 19, 20, I think maybe we should take a trip there and do some of the adventure sports there.
Right.
Because they're so popular for it, I'm sure that their extreme sports are very monitored, very, like the safety control has to be on 1,000 there. Like, I think that's where everybody goes to bungee jump, things of that nature.
I don't know, but we'll get to that step when we get there. I gotta get over this trapeze thing first. So
forget about New Zealand. Let's conquer Brooklyn first.
I gotta conquer Brooklyn first, then we can talk about New Zealand.
So if you guys are interested, the place is called Trapeze School, New York.
Yes, Trapeze School, New York. They have an indoor facility in Brooklyn, and in the summertime they do it in Manhattan. And I mean, if you have small kids, your small kids can go as well. I seen a young girl; she must have been around 6 there doing the trapeze. So if you have small kids, you can do it. You can try it out.
Her parents were like, "Your destiny is to be in the circus."
Yeah.
Like at 6, what 6-year-old is like, you know what? I want to be a trapeze artist when I get older.
It's cool to do though.
No, it's very cool. But her parents were like, you know what? This is what you're going to be when you get older.
No, the 6-year-old and her mom was doing it.
That's so dope.
Her and her mom was doing it. So it was dope. And you can go, you can check it out. It's not that expensive either. I know it sounds like it would be like $2,000-$3,000. No, it's not that
very
expensive at all. So you can go there.
Extremely affordable.
And it's a lot of fun.
Guys, you want to impress your girls? Girls, you want to impress your guys? Wake them up one morning and tell them you have the day planned for them and it's a surprise.
Right.
And just take them.
Let's take them. It's a lot of fun.
That will be impressive.
And it's pretty cool. Like we had a great time.
Happy birthday to my baby boy.
Yeah, a little Logie. Now, also we didn't talk about Christmas because the last time we did the podcast, it was like in the middle of our day 15 or day 10s or whatever it was.
Whatever.
So Christmas did come. We had Christmas dinner at the crib. Mm-hmm. Just family members and close friends, and we had a great time.
Yes,
we had
it was
a great,
so nice.
Wonderful time.
I'm just glad that this year we did a chill, relaxed Christmas because usually our Christmases are formal and there's a lot of pomp and circumstance and everyone's dressed up and there's people passing out champagne and caterers and cocktail dresses and things of that nature. And I'm not going to lie, this year I just didn't want to do it.
Right.
I did not want to do it. I just wanted to have a fun, laid back, chill Christmas. So everyone we invited, we told to come in Christmas pajamas.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody showed up like, okay, so should we get dressed and then change into pajamas once we get to that? No. Get into your car in pajamas, show up in pajamas, and leave in your pajamas. What should we bring? Bring nothing but some Christmas cheer and a smile, and come and drink some eggnog. And one of our friends, Anthony, and his girlfriend Carolina, they brought coquito.
Right.
Which I'm not a big drinker. I don't drink for taste. Like you guys know, if I drink, I'm drinking to get twisted.
Right.
But this is probably the first alcoholic beverage that I actually enjoyed.
Correct.
And wanted another and another and another. It was so good.
Right.
I'm like, do they sell this at Gary's, which is like our neighborhood
liquor store.
But you know, we drank, we had fun, the kids had a wonderful time, and it was really nice. After dinner, we all loaded up in the family room and exchanged more presents, you know, presents between our guests and ourselves. And afterwards, we had a paper fight.
Yeah, we
had
a paper fight.
Our traditional gift paper fight, which struck some of our guests by surprise.
Yeah, we was hitting guests in the head with paper and wrapping paper.
Yeah, they're like, what is this? But I think that's what the kids look forward to the most, second to the presents. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then we played Taboo.
Yes.
Now, Taboo and all games in our house are very serious. Like, you know, we talk about Monopoly a lot and how serious Monopoly gets. Taboo is the same. Now, Gia and I are never on the same team when we play in the house because I think, one, we know each other too well.
Right.
So we can kind of be like, what did I have on my ass last week? A pimple. Correct.
Well, you have to explain what Taboo is, because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that haven't played it.
Well, Taboo is a game where they give you cards and a timer and a buzzer, and the cards has a word. Let's say the word is acne.
Okay.
Let's say the word is acne. So there's 5 clues that you cannot use. And you cannot use hand gestures. You can't use pointing. So you have to try to give these people clues. You give your team clues without using the 5 words that you can't use. So let's say acne. Let's say you can't use pimple. You can't use forehead. You can't use
bump.
Cheek, or you can't use bump. So you have to try to explain acne. But I can say, Gia, when I was a kid, I had a lot of this on my face. And then Gia would be like pimples, and I'd be like, continue, and then she'd be like acne, and you can go on.
And you get a point.
Right.
So it's kind of like that. But it's one of our Christmas traditions. Christmas and Thanksgiving. Every Christmas and Thanksgiving, we play Taboo. And
Correct.
It gets so serious.
Very serious.
In our house. And it was nice to kind of share that tradition with our friends, because I could really see them enjoying the competitiveness
Correct.
of it. And we take it to another level.
Absolutely. So we did that. And of course I won.
Your team won.
My team won, but I won because I was the captain. So
now,
I won.
Friends, family, if you were on my team, don't take offense to this. But I was trying to be a good host, and I chose the weaker players because you weren't choosing them.
No, that's not true.
And that's the reason why we lost.
That's not true at all.
It is true.
That's a lie.
It is true.
So your daughter was the first person you picked.
She was weak.
See?
And Logan was weak.
See?
And some of our other guests, I'm not naming y'all by names, but y'all were weak.
All right. Well, I picked my players to win. And I win. Shout to Ingrid. Shout to Roman. Shout to Aunt V. Shout to my mom. And shout to Aunt. And we bust and kicked ass. And then we played a game called, what was that game called?
Oh my gosh, what's it? Okay, so it's not our game. Our friend Carolina brought this game that I've never even seen before. I think it might be called Speak Out.
Speak Out, I believe.
I think it might be called Speak Out. You put this apparatus in your mouth, and you have to read, for lack of a better term, a tongue twister with this plastic apparatus in your mouth. And the apparatus pretty much stretches out your lips so that
it looks like when you go to the dentist. When you go to the dentist and you brush your teeth and they have that apparatus that goes in your mouth to keep your jaw and lips open.
Yes.
It's the same apparatus.
And it prevents you from being able to enunciate your words.
Correct.
So, for instance, maybe your P's and your B's, things that you have to join your lips to pronounce.
So let's say the sentence is,
you're not able to do it.
The man jumped out the window. Let's say that's the sentence. So,
but that wouldn't be a good example.
It
would be like Peter picked pickles perpetually.
Right.
Like it would be something like that.
But with that device in your mouth, you can't say P. So you'd be like, here.
Pickles.
So
like it would be like that.
Right.
So your teammates have to guess what you're saying,
correct,
word by word. And I didn't think it was going to be that much fun until we started playing, and it was hysterical.
Right.
It was so much fun.
And I would just say that if you do play it or you do buy the game to play with some friends, you got to brush your teeth because everybody sees all in your grill.
Oh my gosh. Like you can see every cavity, every filling.
Yeah, you see in somebody's grill.
If you have gingivitis, don't play.
Yes.
Like it is, like it is. Like you could, it's very intrusive.
Yeah, it's very intrusive. But we had a great time.
Yes. If you guys do holiday get-togethers, incorporate a game.
Right.
To me, that's so much fun to me.
And I want to figure out. I mean, we have to do a live podcast in February. We got to figure out where.
You do a live. You just gonna tell me just like that. We can have a conversation about this.
We will. After this podcast, we need to have a live podcast in February. But we need to do a game night one night. I don't know how we can do it.
A game night?
We got to figure out how we can do a game night and invite some of our listeners and followers where we do it at a play. I don't know if it can be Taboo or something, but we need to figure out a game night.
That'd be too difficult.
We'll figure it out because we might have to do like maybe do it in a way where it's 10 different games, 10 different taboos playing, and then let's say
like elimination,
and then elimination round, and then the top two teams play each other.
Great idea.
You need to figure that out.
I want to do that. You know what I also want to do?
What's that?
Like a big karaoke night.
Yeah, we can do that. That's easy.
I want to do that. Like maybe rent out Caroline's again or something like that and then do karaoke. I think that would be so much fun.
We'll figure that out. I want to do more of that in the new year.
First free round of drinks or something, get everybody light and tipsy.
Yeah.
And then go in for those people that have nerves.
I want to do more of that. More date night this year. Yeah.
Huh?
I think we should do that this year. More date night things to do.
Yeah.
They just have like even rent out a movie theater and then just all of our listeners go out there. We just all watch a movie together and then we all talk about it. Just things like that. Maybe a book night where we all read a book and we talk about it. Yeah.
For the new year, don't talk about it. Be about it.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So that was our holidays. So now what I want to talk about now is there's a lot we got to talk about before this podcast is over. New Year's resolutions.
Okay.
Do you have any?
I didn't really. We've been on 100 for the past.
We have
like 6 weeks planning for the vacation, going on vacation, coming back and slamming right into the wall of Christmas and preparing for all of that. Then right after that, Logan's birthday, and now it's today.
Correct.
So I haven't even had a moment really to think about New Year's resolutions, but I can think about it now.
All right. Well, you think about it while I start.
So you've already thought about your resolutions?
Yeah, some of them.
Okay.
Yep. The first one is, I don't want to throw this out there because this is going to be difficult, but I want to go to church more.
Yes.
That's one. We haven't gone to church often at all. I mean, and we always blame it on busy schedules. We also blame it on I'm traveling or we're tired or the kids have things. But, there's so many different things we can do to go to church. Not only church on Sunday. If we can't make Sunday service,
we do a Bible study.
We could do a Bible study. There's so many different things where we can be, to get to church. So that's what I want to start planning
you're
out.
Making me so happy.
I want to do that. Second of all, I want to focus on the KC Crew brand. And with that being said, as a kid, I really didn't know much about business. I didn't know much about making money. I kind of fell into it and worked hard and did it. I want our kids to know it before they do it. A lot of the things that we did, we made mistakes and then we figured out how not to do it the next time.
Right.
And what I want to do with the KC Crew brand is I want to make it a business where our kids learn how to make money. And I really want them to do it. Like Logan does it with his stuff and he flips stuff and sells stuff and, plays Madden and wins coins and sells coins and all that. And I'm grateful. But I want to create a business where he has his own and he figures how to do things himself. Same thing with Madison, Madison has told me she wants to be an environmental scientist. She tells me also that she wants to be a model, and she tells me all these things that she wants to do, all these ideas. And a lot of times when, people tell you or kids tells you these ideas, you don't really follow through. And I want to follow through with what they want to do and really push them towards that direction and be that person that says, okay, if this is what you want to do, let me throw you out into the fire. I'm going to take those modeling pictures for you, get those modeling pictures and take you to a couple of auditions. Same thing with little London. I know she's only 4, but we're going to put her little ass to work. Send on a couple of auditions where everybody has their own taste of business and doing things. So you
want to introduce the family to business.
Absolutely.
Okay, I like that idea. But with Madison, people would always ask me, why don't you get her into modeling or things like that? And I never wanted to do it.
Why?
I'm going to be honest, because I was a child model and my experience was that it just wasn't worth it. And I booked a lot, but unless you land a national campaign like Colgate or Target or, something along those lines, it doesn't pay for everything that you miss. So, and it's funny that you mentioned this because a lot of people for some reason have DM'd me in the past about their children modeling. And I never really understood why, because we don't have child models.
Right.
So maybe this will help a couple people. I'll tell you what my experience was like, and maybe things have changed.
Okay.
But I'll just speak from experience. You have an agency, and your agency, my agency would call me maybe once every 2 weeks or once every 3 weeks to go out on what they call a go-see.
Correct.
And your go-see, who they choose for, would be kids that match one type. So they might be looking for a child between the ages of such and such and such and such with these features or this nationality with these other characteristics.
Correct.
So they choose you, you go out. Now, there might be you plus 20 other children going out for the same role. You have to miss school for the day.
Okay.
So that means that your mother or your father has to miss work for the day or at least a half a day. I would drive to the city, that's gas and tolls and parking. Then you go in, you audition or you shoot, and then you leave. First of all, the waiting process would be like 3 or 4 hours sometimes.
Right, correct.
You'd be there all day waiting just for your shot or your audition. There's no time to go back to school. You miss a day of school. Your parents miss work. You wait. It costs money to get there, to park and everything. You may or may not get chosen. You have a 1 in 20th shot of getting chosen or getting the part, getting the role, getting the piece, whatever it is. And you might only book 15%, 20%. Like if you're amazing, maybe 50%. I booked about 30%. So that means 70% of the time that you go out, it's for nothing. And for a child in school, you're missing a lot of school to chase this dream. And if you book, these might be jobs that are paying maybe $1,000.
Right.
So I didn't think that it was necessarily worth it.
Correct.
But you might have a child that's an absolute star, like the Hadids or something like that, that have that special sauce. So I'm not saying that to discourage you, but that's the reason why I didn't want to do it with Madison. I didn't want her to miss school. I figured when she got a little older, if it's something that she was interested in and she wanted to pursue, then she can make that choice. Okay. And then we can try to figure a way around it. But that's why... Well, that's not the reason why I didn't pursue it, but that's why at the time, I didn't necessarily think that it was worth it. So I did it all the way up until I got cut. And then after that, I was going off to college anyway. So that's when I stopped. But I mean, I made a good amount of money, but for me to extend it to my children, I just chose not to. Now with London...
But, with Madison, I just think the experiences would be great for her. I also, I think it's a little different. And the reason I say it's a little different, and this is going to sound a little crazy, but we're a little picky, What
do you mean?
There's certain things that we do and certain things that we don't do. And, we can decide what we want to do or decide what we want to do because of how hard that we work.
Okay.
For instance, if they call Madison down and says, hey, we want your daughter to be in this music video, we're going to say, go fuck off.
They wouldn't call for a music video.
Just saying, you did a music video one time.
That was an MTV music video. That was an MTV music video that I booked that time.
Right. But, we could say go fuck off. Let's say they say, okay, well.
But it wasn't 2 Chainz.
I don't know. still, but, I wouldn't, let her do certain things. There's only certain things that I'm allow her to do because we're not doing it for the money. We're doing it for the exposure and to see if she wants to make a career out of it. So I think it would be great. Now, you were saying about London.
With London, she might be a little bit of an exception to the way that I feel about it because, when I was a kid, yes, I like the camera. I like to take pictures and things like that. Most little girls do. But London is a little bit different. I think that she might be a good actress.
Okay. I agree.
She's a pleaser.
She is.
She's the child that if you tell her to do something, she is going to do it. She's not going to give you a hard time. She's not going to say, I'm over this. She's not going to say, I'm tired. It could be midnight and she will hold a pose.
Right.
And she does it because she wants to do it.
Correct.
It's not because she's being made to do it. She's being forced to do it. She'll come into my room in the morning before school and say, Mommy, I came up with a new pose. And then she'll hit it. And she'll be like, you like it?
Right.
And I'm like, hold on. Let me get my phone. Let me take a picture.
That is absolutely positively her.
She enjoys it. So I think that might be some of her special sauce. That
Right.
might be something that she's into. Now, if your child has a dream and your child wants to do something because it's in their blood, then you chase that. You go for it because they're putting their foot forward and they're showing you. I just don't want to put the foot forward for my kids. I want it to be their decision. I want it to be something that they do. She was watching something on TV. This was about 2 months ago. And she said, Mom, I'd like to be on TV. And I was thinking to myself, well, most kids look at TV and say, I want to be on TV. So I said, well, what do you mean? She was like, I want to learn how to do what they do, And I said, okay, that's a little sign that this might be something that you're into.
Right.
So for the new year, I think it would be a great idea to at least take those steps and to feel it out and to see if those two specific children really want to do it and really have what it takes to do it.
Right.
It's a lot to say you want to do something, but then when you get into it and you start getting rejection after rejection after rejection, then you get to see what you're really made of. Do
Absolutely.
you continue? Do you work harder?
Right.
Do you go on more go-sees? Then, time will tell.
Right. So that's, back to the business, what I want to do with our kids. And as far as our relationship, I want to live in the moment more.
What do you mean?
Every morning, we've been on vacation for the last 2 weeks. Every morning when we get up, we just hold each other for a long time. There's no rushing. There's no, I got to go to work or we got to take the kids here or we got to do this or we got to do that. And I enjoy it. Sometimes you forget and you don't live in the moment. And I want to live in the moment more. Enjoy each other more. We enjoy each other a lot. But it's the small things that I think, like this morning when we woke up and, we were in bed naked and we just held each other for 15 minutes and hugged each other and, kissed each other. Like I miss that.
That was like 2 hours ago.
I know. Because usually it's like, oh, baby, good morning. All right, let's go. We got to go here. We got to go there. This one has this.
No,
this
you know
one
what it is? We wake up and we look at each other. Okay, what's the plan for today?
Right.
Because we have 1,000 things to do.
Correct.
First, we're going to do this. Then we're going to do this. Then we have to jet over here. Then we have to get this. And we have to get back in time for this. So it's usually a very regimented day.
Correct.
But I like that.
So those are some of my New Year's resolutions as far as what I want as a family, what I want as myself. What are some of yours?
Okay, so I'm on the spot. Let me think. Well, I'd like to be a better friend.
Okay.
To my friends. Because we're so busy and because we have 5 kids and because I have you and not for nothing, you take up a lot of me and I love it that way.
Right.
Like that is my choice. I love being up under you and I love you being up under me. And I'm up under my kids. We're all up under each other and that doesn't leave much time for my friendships.
Correct.
And it's so much so, I feel like we're so busy constantly that I'll be in the middle of something. I might get a text, glance at it, and then be like, okay, I have to text back so-and-so, but I can't right now.
I'll do it later and you forget.
Because I'm driving so-and-so to here. And when I get there, I'm in the middle of something. Then when I get back, we're up under each other and then I fall asleep. And then it's not till the next day that I realize, oh my gosh, did I return so-and-so's text?
Mm-hmm.
I might have formulated the text message in my mind and never texted it. And for some reason, believe that I sent that message that I formulated in my mind.
Correct.
Go back the next day to check and be like, wow, I never texted back so-and-so. They must feel slighted. I feel horrible.
Right.
Then I'll text, sorry, thought I texted you, but didn't. I don't like to be that person. I like to be equally as present. Well, maybe not equally, but very present for my friends in a similar way that I am for my family. Also, I don't make physical time for my friends as much as I used to because Saturdays were inundated with 1,000 things and we wake up with that schedule, and I don't go out with my friends on Saturdays. I don't meet my friends for drinks on Fridays. I don't just go and chill at their house for a few hours. And usually if I do, I feel guilty.
Right.
I feel guilty because I feel like I'm taking time away from the kids, especially. Like even you, I feel like I'm taking time away from you because you work so much. So when you're free, I make it my business to be free.
Right. And I love that.
But maybe one weekend every 2 months, I can be with some of my friends.
One weekend every 3 months when I'm out of town and I have a show and I'm not here. That makes sense. I'm cool with that.
And not for nothing, Madison and Logan make me feel guilty.
Right.
Listen, the other night you had a show on Wednesday. So what was that? Was that night before last? Right. Because this is Friday?
Yes.
I don't even know what day it is. That's how bad it is. So this is Friday morning right now. Wednesday, Rashawn had a show. We went out early in the day with the kids. We were with the kids all day. We come back home and I said to Madison, Dad asked me to come to the club with him. I might, go to the club.
Right.
She's like, Mommy, can you please just stay home with us? Can we cuddle and just watch a movie? You don't have to go out. You don't have that much fun anyway. I said, I do have fun. I said, I can't remember the last time I went out with Daddy. Probably the last time we went out of town. Mom, please stay. Then Logan chimes in, I'll get in the bed and cuddle with you guys and we can all watch a movie together. I just don't want you to go. I just want you to stay.
Little sucker's taking my bedtime.
And I was like, aw, now I feel bad. Okay, I'll stay with you guys. And you went to the club by yourself. Every time, I don't know what it is about our family and our kids, but every time that I leave the house or have to leave the house, and especially if it's not with you, the kids look at me like, do you have to go? Can you just stay? So I guess all of those play a part in the fact that I don't really make enough girl time for my friends. So I'd like to adjust that. I think as soon as I get a text message, unless I'm driving, I'm going to return it in the moment.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, I put my phone down all the time. Like, I'm not on top of my phone the way my friends are on top of their phone. You text them, they hit you back immediately. My phone will be on the night table. I'm in the house doing something. I'm in front of the house doing something. And I don't get back to my phone till 2 hours later because I don't babysit it.
Correct.
And then I'm like, oh, I have 6 text messages. So I just want to be on top of that a little bit more. Let me think. Another way that I would like to better myself. To be honest, I've been trying to do a lot of betterment this entire year. Like I've said before, I want to become self-actualized. I want to take steps to be my best self, my ultimate self. I want to be the kindest, most loving, God-fearing person that I can be. So I feel as though we put God first every moment of the day. I mean, I don't do anything without God being a part of it, and I make sure that I'm accountable to God with every decision. And I think I've told you this before. I don't know if I've ever said it before on the podcast, but I used to litter. Right. For instance, I wouldn't think anything about chucking a gum wrapper out the window. Correct. Or, just throwing something on the sidewalk. And when I think back to that, wow, how horrible. I'm even embarrassed to say it. But, years and years ago, I used to do that. Right. Now, I'm thinking about it, every time I have the urge to toss something because it's inconvenient to hold or whatever, I'm like, Nope, can't mess up God's planet.
Right.
This is God's house. Can't do it. You know, so even little things like that. Anytime I have the urge to smudge the truth because it might make my life a little bit more convenient or easier in that moment, my conscience holds me back and I literally cannot do it.
Gotcha.
You know, I can't do it because I think about what's right every moment of the day.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, there's times obviously where I fail and I do something wrong or something that I could have been better at and I made a lesser choice. But I've really been trying very hard to be my best self. I want to continue that. I want to continue everything that I've set into motion this year. But this might sound a little cheesy, but you know, what's that saying? You know, everybody now is like, okay, you're living your best life. I want to live my best life. I want to take advantage of everything that this life has to offer.
Yes.
I want to have the most fun. I want to love hard. I want to be the best mother. I want to be the best wife. I want to be the best daughter. Any and everything that I've been doing, I want to do it better. And I want to live in that moment, every moment of the day. I want it to be heavily on my mind. How can I be better to this person?
Right.
Especially my family.
Okay. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And I'll say ditto.
And I want you to hold me accountable.
I will.
You know, if I'm doing something that I might be having a selfish moment or whatever, I want you to help me. I want you to call me on it.
And the same with me. And the same with me.
Yesterday, not to get into the details of it, but I was on the verge of not making the best decision and you called me on it. And you said, you know, you might want to go a different route. It came to fruition this morning and I happened to be right about what I thought. And I wish I would have handled it the way that I initially wanted to. But even though I was right, your decision was the better decision.
Absolutely.
Because I could have been wrong.
That's right.
I could have been wrong. So I was glad and thankful that you showed me a better way in that moment. So I want to be able to do that for each other continually throughout this year.
Okay.
So I just want to be better.
All right.
You know?
Well, those are some of our New Year's resolutions. I love those.
Okay, good.
I'm going to copy some of yours.
So, and just to piggyback on yours, I would like to try, I'm starting next week, church every other Sunday.
Okay.
And there's a church that I have in mind that was recommended to us that I would like to, but we have to get up early. We got 3 babies to get ready. We got to get those teens up so that they get ready. We're going to bring the nanny. We're all going to go. I want to go every other weekend. And I don't want you working and being tired to be an excuse. I want you to push through. I want us all to push through and do it because there's nothing like giving your children the gift of God.
I mean, I agree. Once every month, every other Sunday is a lot. I think we should try once a month or once every 3 weeks first. Because I mean,
you always want to ease into things.
I got to ease. Well, you know what it is?
What about just jumping in?
No, it's difficult because you're talking to somebody who does shows Friday and Saturday, and then
I know it'll
fly
be difficult.
back, and then
I know.
I have shows. I get home at 5 a.m, and we got to leave at 6 to be at church at 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Well,
or 9 o'clock.
How about this?
That's what I said. We'll ease into it.
Let's make it our goal. But if you're just flying in on a Saturday night or something like that, then maybe not. We can be a little bit flexible. I just want to be
realistic,
No, well, let's be realistic. Let's not, call it. Let's just have a goal for it to be, because with kids, all I know is that ever since we incorporated God in our life, we can't stop the blessings from rolling in. Correct. Ever since we started living a better life and trying to serve him and be better, we've never been happier.
Right.
And we give our kids a lot of God in the house, but getting up and going to church is a way of showing God your commitment. And I want them to learn that now, especially the little ones from an early age, that it's just part of their routine. Like, we go to church on Sundays, and they'll be able to give that gift to their children, and their blessings will be abundant because they'll be learning how to be better people because of what they're learning in church. And it'll just improve and enhance their lives. So I really want to do that. We talked about that a few months ago. So I'm glad that it's fresh on your brain and you made it your New Year's resolution.
Right. So I want to try at a couple of churches too.
Okay.
I want to check out Pastor Carl Lentz's church.
Okay.
And then we could check out the
Where
church.
is that?
He does it in the city.
Oh, okay.
And then we could check out the church that you want to visit in Brooklyn. I also want to check out the church that we went to Bible study last week in Newark. So there's a couple places we want to try out and see what we like.
It's all going to be good. So it doesn't, it's all good.
Absolutely. I don't have an email of the week.
You told me you had an email of the week.
I have a situation of the week.
And I asked you if you had two. You told me you had two.
Well, let me tell you.
So what kind of tricky business is going on here?
So this is a situation of the week. All right. There's a young man. All right. The young man has been dating his girl for 4 years.
Okay.
Recently, he found out that his girl has been cheating on him.
Okay.
He kind of cracked into her phone, her iCloud, and has been checking her messages.
Okay.
And this girl has been, meeting this other guy. They've been going on dates. He's been seeing their messages. She found out that, he hacked her on iCloud. So now she's been sending messages through Facebook.
Okay.
So he cracked the Facebook code and he's been watching their messages. The other day they were at a restaurant eating. He pulled up to the restaurant and
who was at a restaurant? Her and her side dude?
Her and her side dude.
Okay.
Pulled up we're eating at a restaurant. He pulled up and he didn't go inside. He just wanted to see them.
That's something I would do.
He wants to know what he should do. I'll tell you what I told him to do.
So this is someone you know?
A friend of a friend. I know we both know the person, but it's their friend.
Okay.
Wants to know what he should do. Now this is the catch. The girl that he's been dating for 4 years, was married. He was the side dude. Oh. When she was married, she left her husband for him.
Yeah.
And now they've been going out 4 years. Yeah, he's having a problem because she's basically cheating on him with somebody else.
How you get him is how you lose him. I mean, come on. There's not much to be said, to be honest.
Now, this is what I told him. I told him the problem with her is she's
a hoe?
I didn't say a hoe. I said
she's not loyal.
No, I didn't say that. I said
she's not cut from that cloth.
No, I didn't say that.
What do you expect?
No, I didn't say that.
What, did you think you were so special?
No, I didn't say. I said the problem is. I said the problem is with her.
I hope this person doesn't know me because I'm absolutely going to be offensive during this.
That's okay. I said the problem is with her, and I said the problem is obviously that she likes the honeymoon part of a relationship.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Where she likes when you first start going out and everything is so hunky-dory and so compliments and let's do this, let's do that, let's do that. That's what she enjoys. Right. And when that's over, she misses that and she starts getting it from somebody else. It could be compliments. It could be feeling good. And that's where she's at with it. I told him that he needs to man up. And I'm going to tell you why. I mean, maybe you're different. There is no way in hell I could have cracked your iCloud, seen you in a restaurant with another man, and just not running there wild out.
So being a man is the equivalent of running in and wilding out.
I'm just telling you how emotional and how.
But how do you equate that to him having to man up?
There's no way in the hell I think any man, maybe it's just me talking shit. Any man out there could see the person that they love with another individual and not say nothing. I
would have pulled up a chair and got some popcorn and just sat there and watched. I would want to see how, if I were him, I would want to see how she laughed with the other person. I would want to see if she leaned into the other person.
But after seeing all that, what would you do?
I'm an observer, though.
But after seeing all that, what would you do?
Calm.
But what would you do after seeing all that?
Well, then I would make a few mental notes and then decide what I want to do.
So you would never walk into the restaurant?
I might go in to the hostess and order something and have it sent over to the table. And then when I saw the food coming, I would pull up a chair and sit down and introduce myself.
See, so you would interact.
Of course.
Okay.
At some point.
He didn't interact. He just left.
Then he left.
Right. Me, the whole restaurant would know what was going on. I would Teresa Giudice that table. I would flip that fucking table.
You would have walked in like,
What? They would have had to call the police. I would have.
They definitely would have.
If it was breakfast, I would have took the eggs and I'd have threw it on you and him. It would have been. It would look like Love and Hip Hop because I would have been throwing juices and sodas all over the place. It would have been a motherfucking movie.
And then what? So after the movie was over, everybody's sitting there dirty and messed up. Then what do you do? This is the good part. Then what do you do?
I'm gonna tell you. In his situation, what I would have done is this. Now he approached her and says, "Hey, there's this guy."
No, hold on. Everyone's dirty. In your version, everyone's dirty and messy. Now everybody's standing there. The people in the restaurant are shocked and appalled.
Right.
The police are on their way. You're standing there looking at me and looking at him. Now what do you do?
Well, I would have called you a bunch of fucking whore bitches.
A bunch of what?
Fucking whore bitches.
Whore bitches.
You definitely would have been a bunch of fucking whore bitches. You fucking whore bitch. You whore bitch. You fucking whore bitch. You'd have been a bunch of fucking whore bitches.
You bitch from a whore.
You bitch from a whore. Anyway, I would have been able to say you whore bitch fuck and you fuck whore bitch. It would have been all that on you.
Right.
And him too. Right?
He would have been a whore bitch too.
He'd have been a whore bitch too. And then I would have left. Right?
Oh, then you walk out.
I tell you why I walk out. Right? Because now I got to walk out and I got to beat you home. Because now I got to throw all your shit out.
So you got to fuck all my shit up?
All your shit got to get the fuck out my crib. So,
your crib?
Yeah.
Wait, so then it turns into your crib?
I'm going to tell you, in this situation.
Once I cheat, it turns into your crib?
In this situation, she was living with him. So I'm using I'm mirroring this situation.
His situation.
I would have threw all your shit out the fucking house, changed the locks.
You wouldn't have had time to change the locks.
Oh, I would have just locked the door. I would have locked the door and made sure I put something so you couldn't get in that house.
Put the chair up against the doorknob?
There would have been something that you could not get in the
dresser?
House. You would have went there and all your shit would have been right there on the lawn.
Okay, so now you got to jet home, throw everything out, prop the door, then what?
And that's it. Then it's over.
Then it's over?
Then it's over.
Then you just sit in the room and cry?
Yep. Yep. But you would have been a bunch of fucking whore bitches.
In the meantime,
you would have been a bunch of fucking whore bitches, and that would have been. Aww. And that's what I told him to do. I told him,
call her some names. Call her out her name.
No, I didn't say all that.
Fuck shit up. And go home.
I didn't tell him all that.
Yes.
I didn't tell him all that.
A+ for your advice.
I didn't tell him all that. What I told him was, I said, obviously, the reason he hasn't approached her and the reason he hasn't left as of yet is because he still hopes and feels that she will change and turn and say, hey, I did this and I'm wrong. But I told him,
why would she?
She probably won't.
There's no catalyst.
She's done this before. So I said, you're going to have to let go. And since you don't seem like the bout it type, which is cool, which is fine. Every man is different. I said, what I would advise you to do is I would pack up all her shit, drop it off at her mama's house because that's where she has to live now. And I said, I would change my lock and I would let go. I would let go. I said, you don't want to put yourself in a predicament, in a situation where you're arguing, where you're fighting. None of that. She found a new guy. Pack her shit up, let it go. And just let it go and move on. And hopefully that gives you the closure. It's not going to be easy. Obviously, you have feelings for her. I said, but you got to understand, you was the side dude. You took her from her husband. You were the side dude. Sometimes I'm sure in situations that might work where y'all live happily ever after, but in a lot of situations, it didn't. And it didn't for you. Let things go.
You know something, babes? A lot of times that is the advice.
Okay.
Let go. Move on.
Okay.
Look the other way.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel as though people really ever take that advice. I mean, occasionally I'm sure there are people that are strong enough to do it. But it sounds like the type of advice that's always given that people never follow. You know why? Because that's like number one on the list of easier said than done.
I know. I understand.
Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just forget about him. He doesn't deserve you. Mm-hmm. He's not worth it. You deserve better. Just move on. Like, people hear that. People are the recipient of that type of advice all the time.
Right.
But nobody actually knows how to do it.
That's correct.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you love somebody.
That's why I explained.
You snuggle with them every night. Or when they're not with their side pieces, they have a special sauce that just really interacts with your chemistry. And it's not so easy to let go. How do you suggest that people actually execute that advice.
I mean, it's difficult. I mean, you can't, but in this, and I'm only talking about this situation. And the reason I'm,
But how? Think about it. Like how?
What do you mean how?
How do you do it? How do people move on? How do people look the other way? How do people really internalize that you don't deserve it? How do you just let go when you love somebody?
Right, but see, there's a difference between...
There are people with willpower that can do it.
No,
that can put their minds to it and do it. But there are so many people that
difficult.
Just can't.
It's difficult, but when you get disrespected in a way and then you get caught and you continually get disrespected, and I'm going to tell you why, just because there's more to the story. Like, he approached her and was like, hey, you know, you're very flirty with this guy, because this is when he first started to see. And he was like, you know, just do me a favor. I really don't want you hanging out with this guy. It just doesn't seem right. Like, you guys, the way you're talking to each other. She was like, no.
Wait. Hold on. I'm sorry to interrupt, Sweetie Pie. Where did she know him from? Because she shouldn't be Facebooking, texting, nobody, period. She shouldn't be hanging out with no other dude wasn't like a childhood friend or a cousin.
Well, this is the thing. And that's what he said. And you know what her reply was?
What?
You can't tell me who to hang out with or who to be friends with. That's what I'm saying. You basically caught her and she basically shitted on you, and she continued, and
she's just disrespectful.
But not only that, it's like she cheated, and then she's taking her friends along with her.
So now she's trying to play him and make a mockery of him.
That's what I'm saying. So it's at a point now where it's like, you know what? You got to just let go, because I understand that you might have love for the person and you love that person, but if they, you know, people fuck up. If they fucked up and they're not trying to fix that fuck up, then it's like she really doesn't respect you, and she's really on to this new person. Just like she left her husband for you, she's probably going to do the same with him, you know? So sometimes you just got to let go.
But you know something? That always kind of throws me off. I went to a party maybe 2 months ago. 2 months ago, about 8 weeks ago. And it was at a restaurant. It was someone's birthday. And the owner of the restaurant, now you weren't there. The owner of the restaurant comes over to me and he starts chit-chatting, you know? And I have my ring on. I was one of the few people that was there without a spouse, but I had my ring on. And he's chit-chatting. So at first, it was fine. You know, he's just chit-chatting. Oh, where do you live? Oh, what do you do? Oh, ba, 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 ba. And it was cool. No problem. Then the questions started getting a little bit more long-winded. He was sticking around for a little bit longer. And now at this point, he's asked me enough questions to know that I have a husband and children. When I said that to him, then he felt comfortable to tell me that he had a wife. We've both been married around the same amount of time. And then he said, well, how did you get here? And no. First he asked me, well, can I buy you a drink? I said, no, I'm good. I'm not drinking. He said, well, why aren't you drinking? I said, because I'm driving. He said, let me get you a drink. I can drive you home. I said, I don't think my husband would like that. He said, what? There's no problem. It's just, you know, a friendly person driving you home.
You should have said, yeah, I got a new gun I'm trying to use out. You definitely should have said, yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, this is crazy that you think for a moment that I would go out of my way to tell you that I'm married and still allow you to drive home. Like, what kind of girls do you meet that this is par for the course?
Well, that's part.
Do you know what I mean?
That's part of his game. He's an owner of a restaurant. I'm sure he's has on an expensive suit and his hair slicked back. He has a nice car. This is what he does, and I'm sure he catches a lot of women out there, and they do it.
Crazy to me. So I told him no, obviously, and he just kept coming at me.
Because
so
he probably usually doesn't get no.
Well, tomorrow, do you have any plans for tomorrow? I said I have a whole packed day with my husband and kids. Well, maybe on Sunday, if you don't have anything going on, maybe I can take you out for coffee. I said, now why would I go? Now at this point, it's a game. Now I'm just having fun because it's like research for me.
Right.
I said, now let me ask you a question. Why would I go for coffee with you? He said, because, you know, we can just be friends. We can just be friends and get to know each other. I like you. I like your vibe. I like your energy. I would just like to get to know you better. I said, to what end? What would you get out of getting to know me better?
Right.
And he said, I don't know, I just like to be around you. I said, do you think I'm stupid? And he just looked at me crazy. I said, what kind of girls do you typically meet? Do you have girls that tell you that they're married and they actually entertain you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, have you ever actually gotten to take somebody out for coffee that was married? He was speechless. I said, no, answer me because I'm curious. Because at this point, it's fun.
Right.
Because my relationship with my husband, I feel like I'm like one with him. So now I'm feeling disrespected for him.
Right.
And he said, no, I didn't mean to offend you. I said, you thought wrong. So with this guy, your friend of a friend, I'm just wondering, when you meet somebody and they have a spouse and they entertain you, is there no, I can understand if you just want to sleep with them and leave them alone.
Right. Because
it's a selfish thing. You're getting what you want. You don't care who they're married to, if they're married, whatever. You get what you want out of it. It's a nasty thing, but all right, you were going in there for selfish purposes. But the point where you actually consider incorporating this person into your life, do you not think, wow, I was able to take this person from somebody else. This is not a loyal person. This is not a good person. This isn't a person that I would probably want to put all my eggs in a basket with and build a future. Do you not think that? For instance, if this guy were actually able to get me to go to coffee with him and then go to, because he also, it's a long story, but he wanted to take me to go see some houses. Because earlier on, I told him that we were thinking about moving. He said, well, maybe I can take you to go look at some houses. There's a couple of beautiful houses in my neighborhood. And when I'm sitting there, and that's where I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun, this conversation. So if you have a person that's actually entertaining you, like, do you not think like this isn't a person that I would want to build a future with? I don't understand it.
Well, I think that he is gonna take my advice and pack her stuff up and take it to her mama house. But it was just one of those things where sometimes people just needed advice and didn't know what to say, and hopefully my advice is the right advice for him.
It can't be the wrong advice.
Oh, okay. So that's what I think, and that's what I gave him advice. So if he's listening to the podcast, I'll tell our friend to guide him to the podcast, and hopefully things work out better for him, and he gets rid of that dead weight in 2017 and has some new weight in 2018, right?
Yeah.
Now, I know we're a little over and a little extra in our podcast today. I wanted to talk about something I teased last week, and I just want to go through briefly. I wanted to talk about sex drives. And I know I talked about it.
I forgot about that.
No, I talked about it. And I got a question and
for me?
Yeah, no, somebody asked me, how do you deal with different sex drives at different ages? And I thought about this and I was like, because Gia's sex drive is on 1,000. Gia likes to fuck. Like, let's
awesome.
All right.
That's just great.
All right.
Can we just change the word of choice?
What?
I'm just saying. Like, come on.
Gia loves to fuck? What word were you talking about? What word were you talking about? Hello?
Yeah, I'm not playing with you anymore. Just go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So now
we're over. I don't have time to play with you.
So now it's like, well, how do you deal with it? So I told her, the thing with Gia is.
But it was a female that asked you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, when they asked, they didn't ask me personally. They asked if we could talk about it on the podcast.
Oh, okay.
So when I thought about it, I said, well, how do we deal with it? And I said, because Gia likes to fuck. Or Gia loves to fuck. And I was like, but, there's times when I'm tired and I worked a lot. I just came back from the gym and this, that, and the other. Gia will like to have sex 3-4 times a day. She's always horny, and me myself,
so irresistible.
I didn't say I was irresistible. I just said that you're horny. And me for myself,
kind of irresistible.
Me not as much. I said, well, how do you deal with it? First of all, I think it has to be communication. It has to be a conversation.
Well, before you talk about how to deal with it, what do you think is responsible for different sex drives?
I think for myself, I think because I hustle and I do so much, a lot of times I'm tired.
Yeah.
And you forget about the little things in a relationship. Like for me, for instance, sometimes I get up in the morning and I'm like, oh shit, it's 9:00. We got a lot of shit to do today. Let's get up, baby. Get up. Let's go. And that's what I said. Sometimes you just got to live in the moment. That's early to the conversation. That's part of the reason why I said that is, get up and hug your spouse and kiss her and touch her and love her and fuck her and touch her ass and stick your finger in her butt and just do like all those things.
Just like that.
Because those are the things that you used to
I don't like the finger in my butt, by the way.
I know.
Just want
Those are the things that you used to
just in case you were, led astray and you think that I actually don't like that.
I know, thumb.
Mm-hmm.
But those are the things that you used to do that you forget about because so many different things in this world you focus on now, and you don't focus on those type of things.
Mm-hmm.
The simple things, the things that, that you used to do all the time that was so much fun. And I'm like, for you, you're still at that mind frame where you're I always say this about you. You're like, fuck everything else in the world, fuck, like I want to get to that place. Because you don't think about the outside world. I mean, it could be bombs going off all around the house. And you'll be like, oh, no, well, hey, baby, give me a kiss. Give me a hug. Let's just hug each other. And bombs will be like, boom, boom, boom. The dog will be barking. And you'll be like, no, I don't care about that. It's all about me and you. And then and 30 minutes later, you'll be like, oh, was that a bomb I heard? That's how you are. And that's what I need to get to, because I think, for one, I think I would enjoy life more. Mm-hmm. And two, I think I would enjoy you more. Mm-hmm. And knows where I want to get. So for me, explaining that, I think part of that is communication and letting go of a lot of the things that we care and worry about that stress us out, and say, fuck that for a little bit, Yeah. And that's why a lot of people drink alcohol and they smoke weed, because that takes them away from that. But that's only a temporary fix,
Well, that's where addiction comes in, because they constantly need it.
Right. Mm-hmm. You have to learn to just think. And that's what I was thinking. I was like, I have to have more communication where I should be able to say, you know what? I'm not thinking about anything that's going on in the world. I'm just thinking about my wife. I'm just thinking about enjoying my wife. Aww. And eating that good and really enjoying you. So what do you have to say about that?
I think that in your example, for instance, in the mornings, mm-hmm. right? Yes, you wake up, you can give yourself a few minutes to me, bonding in the morning sets the tone for the rest of the day.
Correct.
So when we wake up and you're hugging me and you're kissing me, and it's just like my flesh against your flesh, and I'm not even talking about sex or anything like that. Uh-huh. It's really the bond. It makes us both get out of the bed with smiles on our faces, and it's kind of like, you want me to cook you breakfast? No, you want me to cook you breakfast? No, you want me to make you breakfast? Right. I'll make your favorite. I got those good omelets. Like, it sets the tone for a nice day and happiness, and then it kind of snowballs. And then we're in the car, I'll let you, listen to, whatever you want to play on your playlist, instead of me being selfish and wanting to listen to mine. And then, then at dinner, like, I want to do this for you, and then mm-hmm. at night, I want to do that for you. It just sets the tone. So I like that. But in your defense, you think that you have a lower sex drive. I don't necessarily know if it's that your sex drive is lower. I think that you have a lot more responsibility than me. Mm-hmm. And you run 100 miles faster than me during the day. Mm-hmm. So how can I expect you to be on 100 when you get home at night, when you were damn near falling asleep in the car on the way to get here?
Correct.
Mm-hmm. So if you get in the bed and you can barely keep your eyes open, mm-hmm. I can't expect you to want to, engage in a 45-minute long tirade, right. Mm-hmm. So I think that that's just natural. Like, your body is dead.
Correct.
Sometimes by the time that you get home, in the morning, that's a different story. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And if we don't have sex at night, we have sex in the morning.
Correct.
So I would say we have sex at least once a day. Mm-hmm. It's some way, or if we have it in the morning, then we might have it at night. But I would say on average, maybe 7 times a week. And I think that that's very high for for most couples that aren't in a new relationship. But we've been married 16 years. We've been together 23 years. So
Correct.
I think that that's very high. So I don't think that you necessarily have a lower sex drive. I think that you're just bogged down with a ton of responsibilities, 76 jobs. You always have bills and finances, and how you're going to make this happen for your family, how you're going to make that happen for your family on your mind. You're always trying to be Superman, and that takes a toll. That comes at a price. And I think that your energy and your attention span and your patience is that price. to pay. So I give you a lot of slack. Like sometimes, like you say, sometimes I'm agitated or sometimes I might have a little mean streak or whatever. I give you allowances for that because I understand what you're going through. At the same time, my sex drive might be a little bit higher than yours. I don't know.
It is.
But for people, now I know, we both know a lot of people, and, you catch an earful every here and there. And there are people that have been together for 2 and 3 years that are now having sex like once a week.
Right.
People that have been married for years that might have sex once a month.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's drive? Do you think that's boredom? What do you think that is? Because I think that's the real question. I think our situation, even with you having so much responsibilities, I still think that we have the healthiest sex life.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you say for people that don't? And do you even think that that's a characteristic of an unhealthy sex life, or do you think that that's normal?
See, I think when it comes to people's sex life, I think there's so much involved. And I think a lot of times people feel like they have to be in a good position, in a good place to have sex. And I think with a lot of people I think deal with stress. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people are stressed out, I think when we talked about a podcast a couple of weeks ago, we talked about holiday stress, and I got so many DMs. People were like, holiday stress is real.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think when you have that stress at the holidays, trying to provide for your family, people are not thinking about sex because their mind is somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And I think people need to, and this is going to be the crazy part, I think to have not even a healthy sex life, but a healthy life, I think we need to figure out how to let those stresses go. Even though those stresses are going to be there regardless. Those problems are going to be there regardless, but we have to figure out a way to let those things go. And that's the type of thing that I was like, I need to do in the new year, because I feel like once we let those things go, mm-hmm. I think your life would be happier. Yeah. And if your life is happier, then you can focus on a lot of the things that, that mean the most to you. For instance, one thing that you do that I always admire is no matter what, no matter how hard we worked or what we did or what we grinded out or if we traveled or whatever it is, you always look good for me. It's like you sleep fucking in a way that your hair doesn't get messed up. Right? And I always appreciate that, and because, and this is going to sound fucked up, because I always like looking at you beautiful. Not to say that you look other than beautiful, but I always like coming home and just looking at you, because it brightens my day. Aww. Not to say that you come home and you look ugly and your hair's all fucked up and you got, hair under your armpits. Yeah. Not to say, but some women are into that, and I'm not, shaming y'all, but I don't like it. What's wrong with you? But you always look amazing. Aww. Your nails are always done. Your eyelashes are like, it's a treat for me to come home and see you, and I appreciate that. So to get back to your question, I think a lot of people need to cut out on that stress, and that's what you do well. And that's one thing I could say that you help me with. You help me cut out with the bullshit and the stress, and you try to help me. Sometimes I don't listen to you, but you try, and that I think creates healthiness and a healthy relationship where people want to do things.
So you're talking about like the seed. So kind of
right. Cut
it off at the knees.
Absolutely.
And get to like the root of the problem as opposed to, the plants and the leaves. No, I get
absolutely.
That. I also think that people need to not compare their sex lives to other people's sex lives.
Correct.
Number one, because other people lie about their sex lives.
That's true.
I don't believe everyone that depicts their sex life in a certain way. Like, oh, we do this, we do that, and it's amazing. I appreciate, the people that say, yeah, like we have missionary sex every night and that's what we like,
Right.
Just don't compare yours to other people's, because you don't really know if it's a direct or a real comparison.
Right.
That's number one. Number two, live your life.
Right.
Don't live anybody else's life. If you're in your home and you see what's going on in your home, and whatever your sex life is, if it makes sense to you, then you have to understand that that's okay. You can't have it in your mind, well, we have to have sex 4 times a week.
Right.
We have to have sex 7 times a week. If we don't, then we're below par.
And not only that, and I want to tell people and couples out there, everything that you see on social media, Instagram, it's not always true.
Yeah, but that's what I was just saying.
You know, and the reason, you know, I love this podcast is we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we also try to tell you about our family and how we do things. Like us going to trampoline and trapeze for the kids' birthdays. Like we really do it, and we don't do it for anything but to show our kids we love it and try to keep our relationship going and keep fun in our relationship. And the reason we post so much about our family is because we love seeing families together.
Yeah.
And if we can help and give you ideas, and don't get it twisted, we look at other people for ideas as well, you know. But if we can help and give you ideas where you can say, you know what, I never thought about trapeze, and let's take the whole family trapeze, and it might be fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, oh, you know what, I never thought about going skiing or going, what's the thing that we do?
Indoor water park.
Tubing or things like that. It
whatever.
might be fun. You know, those are the type of things, instead of just staying home and doing the same old shit and people are pissed off, try different things that are not that expensive that you could take your family and say, you know what, because we really love seeing families together. There's so many people and so many families that DM family pictures to us and things that they're doing, and we love it. Mm-hmm. We love seeing it.
But you can't look at social media and things of that nature and assume other people's life.
Right.
You have to do what fits your life. If you work and your husband works and you have a bunch of kids and you both are tired at the end of the night, you can't think to yourself, all right, well, we got to have sex. Like, you can't put sex on a schedule.
Right. Jerk them off. You ain't got to fuck them. Just jerk them off.
Or you can just go to sleep and not do anything.
That's true.
The point is that you can't put it on a schedule. You can't hold yourself to a certain standard. You have to do it when it feels right, when it feels natural. And that's different than being married to someone that you feel just isn't interested in you.
Correct.
You know, the point is that you have to identify whatever it is that's going on in your relationship. And then if there's actually a problem with drive or desire or chemistry, you need to identify that and address that as a problem and try to tackle that. But my overall point is live your life and figure out what's right for you and your partner.
There you have it. I think that's a perfect ending.
Okay.
All right. Well, it's time to get up out of here.
Yes.
Well,
how long is this podcast today?
About
usually
an hour 30-ish.
You're trying to cut me off and wrap it up.
We're just having a great talk, and we didn't have shit to do. I'm on vacation. I ain't got shit to do.
I love this. You.
All right. Well, goodbye 2017. The next time we see you guys will be 2018.
Yes.
And we appreciate you guys for listening and following and riding out with us. Thank you. And for 2018, we will be on time. All the podcasts.
I was waiting for that resolution.
We will. All right, baby. Well, I love you.
I love you too.
And we appreciate you guys for riding with us. And don't forget, you could always hit up the website, thekcrew.com, or you can hit up the email, thekcrew@gmail.com. If you have questions, that's THEEKCrew@gmail.com. If you got some questions you want us to ask live on the podcast, we'll ask them.
Okay.
All right, I'm DJ Envy.
And I am Gia Casey.
And that was another edition of the KC Crew.
Toodles.